Hello, folks. This is Gary Hudson of the Truth Guitar channel, Folkstone Guitars. Glad to have you tuning in today, and I want to say welcome to all of our new subscribers. You've helped us get past the 1,000 mark several weeks ago, and we're headed for 2,000 subscribers here. And I want you to know that I deeply appreciate you subscribing to my channel and having an interest in my videos. Today, I'd like to talk to you about the myths that are circulated about stainless steel frets. Um, this is something that you'll read on blogs that you'll find normally two opinions about. And on the one hand, somebody will say that stainless steel frets are the greatest thing that's ever happened to steel string guitars, and they're permanent, they never wear out, and it's the only way to go, and it sounds so much incredibly better with them. Then on the other hand, you'll read people that'll say that oh no, don't ever put stainless steel frets on your guitar. It'll ruin the tone of it. It'll make it sound tinny. It will wear the strings out faster and things like that. Well, I've been installing stainless steel frets for several years now on acoustic and electric guitars, and I can tell you that they are they have to be, from my experience and from all that I hear from my customers, the player's choice these days. They do last much longer than nickel frets. They are virtually permanent. I can attest to that from this, which is my very first stainless steel fret job in my Taylor 414. This is my personal guitar that I gigged with here in Tallahassee for about 4 straight years. And I put stainless steel frets in this guitar, and years ago, because the frets that were in it, the nickel frets, I wore them out in 18 months playing gigs. So I didn't want to have to keep changing the frets, so I put stainless steel medium tall frets in this guitar, and it has an ebony fingerboard. And I want to say to you that after 4 straight years of playing gigs on this guitar, and I'm talking about playing for a living. Okay, this is my only cash flow as I started up the guitar repair business here and officially incorporated in September of 2011. But I can tell you that after playing this guitar really hard and for hours and hours and hours and hours on gigs, I mean gigs that were like 4 hour gigs, sometimes 5 hours of playing, very little breaks. I had a 202 song list. I did it for a living. I did it 4 and 5 times a week here. I can tell you that the frets on this guitar, there isn't a mark or a scratch on them after all that playing. And one of the things I noticed tone-wise that was very striking about it was that, and you can really tell it with an acoustic guitar. You can really tell how stainless steel frets will affect it. The guitar was definitely brighter sounding, and of course, it's going to be brighter sounding with a brand new set of strings in much the same way. It was not tinny sounding, as some people say. It did not wear out strings any faster than the nickel frets did. The strings, the frets stayed polished. I found one set of Elixir strings that I tested, Elixir number 12 phosphor bronze set, and that's all I did use in those days when I was playing a lot because I didn't want to have to change strings all the time. I had one set that lasted me for 28 gigs, and they were still playing and intonating and sounded great when I changed them. I just changed them because it just became necessary to do it. So I'm going to say, but first of all, my experience proves it. I played as many gigs here in a 4-year testing bed with stainless steel frets on an acoustic guitar. I played as many gigs as anybody plays when they play for a living, and I can tell you right now that the frets served me well. As far as the tone of the guitar, I noticed right away that the mid-range seemed to be greatly enhanced, and the clarity of the guitar seemed like it sounded much clearer. And as far as string bending, it was far easier to bend a string with stainless steel frets. The frets were much smoother, and I just love the way they feel. The medium tall stainless steel frets, which didn't wear down one bit during that 4-year period, These frets were just made my playing far less fatiguing. I'm going to play a clip here in a few minutes from Tommy Emmanuel, and for some reason he says that the stainless steel frets that he had, and he prefers stainless steel frets. He says the only setback was that it took him a while to get used to playing them because they made him more tired. If you listen carefully to what he's saying, it's actually the higher profile of the fret wire that seemed to be more tiresome to him. Of course, he plays far differently, and he's all over a guitar when he plays it. I mean, my God, this guy is just burns a neck of guitar up and down when he plays it. So I would say for normal players, finger picking, that's not going to be the case as far as making you more tired. With me, it was just the opposite. I found that I could play my guitar, and sometimes I did play. I shouldn't have done this, but I played for 3 straight hours, song after song after song after song. Why? Well, the tip jar was filling up, and the folks were liking it, and I didn't want to break up what was going on. I mean, it was going great, and I needed the money. I needed to eat. I needed to pay bills. I needed to survive. Okay, and I'm telling you that the tone was just great. I've had a lot of people tell me that my Taylor 414 plugged in is one of the greatest plugged in acoustic sounds they've ever heard. On my personal 414, I have the Baggs Hex Saddle pickups. Let me see if I can get this up there where you can see it. Notice there is a pickup for each string. For each string, there's a pickup and a wire. Baggs discontinued these. They don't make them anymore, largely due probably because the Doyle Dykes signature models are no longer made by Taylor, and Taylor no longer employs Doyle. He went over to Guild. But it was Doyle Dykes that actually came up with the idea and approached Baggs about these pickups, and they're great. I mean, they're the greatest I've ever heard. In fact, no battery or preamp is needed as long as you've got a good acoustic guitar amp that you're preamping through. You don't have to worry about using a preamp on board or a battery. The pickups are so hot. They sound just fantastic. And with these stainless steel frets, I'm telling you, it was just the ticket. I'm going to play some samples here of tone. A couple of these were recorded by were recorded in a professional studio environment, which I do not have here. So I'm going to play you the clips because a professional player is I mean somebody who plays electric guitar very well for a living is going to give you some clips. I'm going to give you some clips from our guitars that we have built, our Folkestone Strats, and you're going to hear the tone of these guitars with stainless steel frets. And I don't believe you're going to be able to really tell any real difference as far as the tone. I'm going to play a clip on here from Eddie Van Halen talking about the new Wolfgang guitars that are now being made by Music Man. And he's going to tell you that it has nothing to do with tone. And you're going to hear that right out of his mouth. In fact, all his guitars now are stainless steel frets, his Wolfgang guitars. You're going to find that some of the greatest electric guitar players in the world who have a great ear for tone are using stainless steel frets, like John Petrucci on the most excellent, I mean, Maserati type electric guitar, the John Petrucci Majesty guitar made by Music Man. Just a tremendous, near perfect electric guitar that has stainless steel frets, and I can guarantee you that if they affected the tone and made it sound tinny and all this other stuff you hear about from people, you wouldn't have John Petrucci using stainless steel frets if it ruined the tone of a guitar, okay? So don't believe that. This is a myth, and we're dispelling on this video the myth of stainless steel frets. Now, there's one thing about them that's not a myth, and that is they are hard on tools. If you're a guitar builder or a luthier or a tech and you cut stainless steel fret wire with any of the cutters that are out there from Stewart McDonald or any place else, you're going to find the teeth of those cutters are wearing out. In fact, I have to replace my cutters about every 6 to 8 months at least. But that's okay. I can charge maybe $5 or $6 more per fret job, and I can retain my cutters. I can just charge a little more when I do stainless steel frets, and that undercuts that cost. But you're going to find a lot of luthiers out there that don't like to mess with stainless steel frets because nickel frets are so much easier. I'm going to tell you, when it comes to installing a set of jumbo stainless steel frets on a Les Paul or a Strat, it's work, my friend. I mean, it is sweat. It is blood. It'll cut you. I mean, the stainless steel frets can have some sharp ends before you dress them, and they can make you bleed. It's a lot of work getting them shaped right, getting them in. But once you've got them in and they're glued in and they're solid and they're shaped right, man, I'm telling you, they don't move. Another myth about them is that they pop out. Stainless steel frets pop out and don't stay in place. To the contrary, just the exact opposite is true. And listen, I do a lot of fret work, okay? I'm doing 3 and 4 fret jobs a week here at Folkestone Guitars. And I can tell you right now that nickel frets pop out, not stainless steel frets. And the reason why nickel frets pop out is because as you push down on them, they can bend out on the ends because they're far more flexible than steel frets. Steel frets, when you get them shaped and you get them in right, they stay in place. They do not pop out. Okay, so let's dispel that myth right there. So much I could say about this. I don't want to take up a whole lot of your time, but I'm going to say that stainless steel frets, they are the ticket. I mean, if you want a permanent fret job, I had a very skilled and professional mandolin player here in the area. If I was to mention his name, all you cats in Tallahassee here would know exactly who he is, especially if you play bluegrass. He's got a $7,200 Collins mandolin, Florentine mandolin, and he brought this to me. I couldn't believe it. He says, and this brother is really old school with playing, and he says, I want you to put stainless steel frets on. I said, why do you want me to put stainless steel frets on your $7,000 Collins mandolin? He said, because I'm tired of having them replaced. He's coming to me with this mandolin, and this is the 4th fret job it's had to have. He keeps wearing them out, keeps wearing them out. It is his number 1. He plays it a lot, and he keeps wearing the nickel frets out. So, and by the way, why do they wear out? Well, they wear out because chiefly because of the plain strings. The plain strings on a guitar will cause divots in frets, most commonly at the 2nd and 3rd frets, and that's why you see a deeper rut at the 2nd and 3rd frets where most players play. If they play those sweet, D chords and A chords and C chords and G, you're going to see divots at those frets from the plain strings. They're going to be on strings 1, 2, and 3, the E, the B, and the G. And the reason why this is, well, if you use plain strings on an electric, it's going to be at the G. If you use wound strings on a G with acoustic, of course, we're only talking about strings 1 and 2 primarily. But they're going to cut into those frets because that's what steel does to nickel, okay? Steel's harder, and steel cuts into the frets. Now, do steel strings cut into steel? Maybe they will after a whole lot of banging and playing. I mean, really playing on gigging hard on a guitar. Yes, you could theoretically wear stainless steel frets out. You could still cut into them. But I'm telling you, buddy, I never cut into mine in 4 straight years of playing for a living. And I know a lot of players that have been playing on these and have not been cutting into their frets. Now, I have heard of a few cases, maybe 2. I can't even, I can barely count on one hand. In years of doing this, I have heard of 2 stories where somebody said they wore stainless steel frets out on their guitar, and that is it. Nickel frets, just the opposite. They wear out all the time, constantly. If you want a permanent fret job, the way to go is stainless steel frets. And for most players and most normal playing, and even people who play for a living, you're going to find that they're going to be permanent. I put stainless steel frets in this mandolin, and man, I'm telling you, the tone was just phenomenal. The thing just perked up. The guy just loved it. They were the small, vintage size stainless steel frets, and they went in great. It was a bound fingerboard on the mandolin and dressed them off, and man, I'm telling you, the tone of that thing was just phenomenal. It was just incredible. And this was like 3 years ago, and I heard from this individual twice since I've done the fret job. Still playing the mandolin, still loving it, still going strong. Fret's not worn out. And he's a professional bluegrass player. He sits in and plays with a lot of bluegrass groups in this region. So I'm just really thrilled to be able to speak the truth about stainless steel frets, especially from experience with my own guitars, with the guitars that I do work for, and my customers, my clientele. So this is what I've heard on every hand, and no one's wanted to go back. In fact, everyone that has had me do stainless steel frets on their guitars um, has had me do them on their other guitars. They've wanted stainless steel also on their other guitars. So, and then some have wanted nickels on their other guitars just for experimenting with tone, just to see what the difference might be. But 99% of all my customers had, once they've brought me their Strat and I put stainless steel on it, they brought me their Les Paul. Then they brought me their 335. And then they brought me their SG. And then they brought me their Telly. And they all have stainless steel frets and they're all singing and they all love it. So I don't understand why the myths and the rumors about stainless steel frets sounding tinny and ruining the tone of a guitar are out there on the internet. But all I can conceive of is that this is being sown by luthiers or techs that don't really want to do them, don't want to mess with them, because let me tell you, they are work to put in. Stainless steel frets are sweat, they are blood, and they are muscle. Okay, you will physically work yourself in putting them in. And my brow has dripped many, many, many buckets of sweat putting them in. But I'm telling you, the reward of the tone and the feel is well worth it. So I hope that this helps to dispel some of these rumors. Now, first of all, I want to play you a clip from Eddie Van Halen. Listen to what he says about the stainless steel frets that he now has installed for him in all the Wolfgang and the Wolfgang, the official Wolfgang guitar, and the great improvements that have been made on that guitar at Music Man, and why he is just raving about stainless steel frets.
The guitar has stainless steel frets.
Right.
Look at, I don't know what other people think of them, but you know, they just kick ass. You know, no flat spots. They don't wear out.
Right.
If anyone thinks that it takes away from tone, they're crazy. You know, it has nothing to do with tone.
Right.
You know, if it's a bogus guitar, it doesn't matter what kind of frets you put in it. Stainless steel frets was like a major breakthrough because for the amount of playing I do in bending, you know, it's like I'd have to get it refretted every couple of months.
Right.
You know, whole tour.
These frets here, you played half the tour on this guitar. It looks like a brand new fret job.
And I played it way before we went on tour. You don't want to hop out on the track, you know, with a, I don't know, a wheel bearing that's going to go bad or something.
Right, right.
I'm serious. You know,
Well, when you're talking
bearing,
about doing 190 miles an hour, you know.
well, that's it. I'm doing 275
Yeah.
on stage, and I don't want this wheel bearing going out. Starting from scratch alleviated a lot of problems, which gave me the confidence to take it on tour.
Now, as if that wasn't enough to convince us, of course, most of us who play, I play electric and acoustic, and you've got to really revere Eddie Van Halen. I mean, the guy is just tremendous on electric guitar, and I mean, what greater authority would you need? Do you think that Eddie Van Halen would have anything to do with stainless steel frets on his Wolfgang guitar? I mean, really now, if it ruined the tone of the guitar, quote unquote, if it made it sound tinny, do you think he would want stainless steel frets and have Music Man putting them all their guitars on their Wolfgangs, and that you really think that he would be saying that? I don't think so at all. I think he's being perfectly honest and frank and forthright about it. So so much for that. But we're going to move on now to an acoustic player. Let's hear what Tommy Emmanuel has to say about stainless steel frets that he now has on his acoustic guitar.
This is a rosewood fingerboard. I like rosewood.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the rosewood here and here. I've got, in my guitar, Joe, my good buddy Joe Glazer has put stainless steel frets in this guitar. And I like that because, well, it's a lot harder on your hands.
Really?
It really is. It took, for me, I think it was like a month of having sore fingers.
Really?
Yeah, just getting used to the height and the feel of these stainless steel frets. But the sound of the guitar everywhere on the fretboard is so even and so nice, you know. Like when I play single line melody stuff with John Knowles playing the nylon string, and I don't play any kind of chordal stuff. I just bring the mid range up on my guitar and then use the sound coming off these frets. It doesn't matter where you go on the instrument. It speaks, you know.
Yeah, beautiful.
And there you have it from Tommy Emmanuel. And I'm sure, quite sure, that if Tommy Emmanuel thought that stainless steel frets sounded tinny and ruined the tone of his guitar, he wouldn't be having any of them installed on any of his acoustic guitars. But you heard him brag about them. He says the only setback is that they tend to be more tiresome. He also, in the same context, spoke about them being of a higher profile. This would be true if they were nickel as well. I'm not correcting him. I'm agreeing with him. Okay, I'm saying that you put higher profile, like medium tall nickel frets in a guitar, and to some players, especially if they do a lot of sliding on a guitar neck, it is going to be a little bit harder for them to slide, and in that respect, it might require a little more work to play the guitar. But you can get lower profile stainless steel frets, and I mean they can just play as slick and smooth as glass, you know, like speed frets. About wearing out tools, I have here my pair of nippers that I have cut steel fret wire with, and you can see why luthiers don't like to have to mess with stainless steel frets, because look at what they do to nippers. I mean, those were perfectly sharp ends when I got them, and I mean after about 4 or 5 fret jobs, that's the way they look. So I have to replace these quite often. In fact, these, believe it or not, will still cut steel fret wire. It's just it takes a little more effort. Even when they start chewing up like that, you can still cut the frets with them. And also these recrowning files, and these are like $118.47 from Stuart McDonald. Don't ask me what the 47 cents is for. I've never figured it out. But these are quite expensive, and they are diamond. And this is the only thing you're going to recrown steel frets with, and unless you want to use a regular old fret crowning steel file and wear it out very quickly. These will actually last. I've found them to last a good 6 months with me, and that's probably, oh gosh, that's probably, in 6 months I've probably done 20 steel fret jobs at least, if not more. So anyway, these are great recrowning files, and I use them on acoustic and electric, but they will wear out. Even though they're diamond, they will wear out as well, and you have to replace these every couple of times a year or so. But now I'm going to move on to some clips from our own electric guitars that we build here at Folkestone, and these are the Strats, the custom Strats we build. The first one is the F81M. This is a green Stratocaster that is color coded after the F81M 250 Kawasaki motocross racer of the early 70s. That was a tremendous bike from that time. And I want you to hear as Benjamin O'Riordan plays this guitar in this clip in a professional studio environment. Just tell me if this guitar sounds bad because it has stainless steel frets. Now the next clip is same guitarist, Benjamin O'Riordan, in a professional studio environment in Orlando, um, playing one of our Strats with stainless steel jumbo frets. And this guitar is a what we call the Fat Screamer. It's actually a Squire. It's a Fender Stratocaster Squire that we take and basically make it into a real badass beater guitar. We put the same pickups and switches and everything in them that we put in the F81M, but it has an onboard distortion unit as well. But here we go with a just a Squire. That's all this is. This is a Fender Squire with stainless steel frets and a bone nut and locking tuners. And just listen to how this guitar sounds also with stainless steel frets. So there you have it, my friends. I hope that this has been some help to you. I hope it's been thought-provoking. I'm sorry that I had to disengage the comment section on all my videos. I would love to have your comments, but it was too much to keep up with this number of subscribers. I did have to disengage it. The trolls were really just bombing me nearly every day. People who just have nothing better to do than just to find something wrong with your video. A lot of these people don't make videos themselves. They won't stick their own necks out. But they sure want to chop your head off if you're out there trying to do something meaningful and good for the guitar community. And I don't know why people have to be this way. The best thing to do is just ignore them. So I've disabled all the comments. You can get my email address off of folkstoneguitars.com if you would like to send me an email, and if you have a question, I'd be glad to correspond with you. But as far as a comment section, it was just too much to have to go in and make sure that a comment was not misleading anybody every day, and there were comments every day. Most of the comments were very good. I'd say 9 out of 10, but once in a while you get somebody that puts something on there it's just not true. So I would have to delete it, or I'd have to ban this person from the channel because they come on there using a bunch of profanity. And hey, I'm not going to use all this gross profanity on my channel. We got guys out there on that are known as the guitar gurus of YouTube. Okay, and I'm not going to just call their names. You know their names if you subscribe to a lot of guitar channels. And it just seems like the F word and the junk and the name calling just has to be every other sentence. And it just makes me sick. I've actually tried to listen to some people, some techs out there, and get something out of their video. And the way the garbage that comes out of their mouth just makes me want to throw up. I mean, especially the rudeness that they hurl at their critics, and they'll just look in the camera and say, well, you're just a douchebag, or you're just retarded, which is that's just that's low, and that's rude, and I'm going to say it's below this guy. I'm not going to do it. And if you want to tune into my channel, you're going to get some the program's going to be clean. I'm not mad at anybody. I'm not angry. I don't have any mental problems. I don't need to run people down in order to build myself up or anything like that. So this channel was started just for the promotion of the facts and the truth about guitars. So today I hope that we have helped someone to dispel some myths about stainless steel frets. I love stainless steel frets. Believe me, if they didn't really work and improve a guitar, I wouldn't go through all the extra sweat and trouble that I go through to put them in. I say, you do that, Gary, because you make more money on stainless steel fret jobs. Actually, I don't. I'm actually charging the same for a stainless steel fret job that I do for nickel frets. You say, well, if you do that, you're crazy. Look, I'm trying to promote the use of stainless steel frets. I'm trying to be good to people. I'm trying to give them a deal. Okay. Now, you can call that being crazy if you want, but if you're writing the check, you don't think it's crazy. Okay. So I just want to say that, again, I appreciate so much you tuning in. And I hope that we can continue to be informative in some small way to the guitar community. And I hope you have a real good day. And all I can say is keep on playing, stay in tune.